Good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Roy Hastings of the Mount Vernon Police Department, and we're talking about our crime analysis weekly meeting for the week ending November 2nd, 2017. Last week we had an excellent week in the enforcement section of the police department. Our top 7 violent crimes were down 53% for the week, which gave us a 23% reduction for the month of October. And so far, year to date, we're down almost 2% in overall violent crime. This, again, was tied into the fact that we had over 356 more calls for service in 2017 than the same period in 2016, which included Halloween. Halloween was our big event this week. What we found out from doing our research and keeping track on, like we like to do, of the trends, we examined in our Intel division determined that 16 out of our 127 registered sex offenders in the city of Mount Vernon had specific curfews for Halloween. So using that, we broke it down. The intelligence section made a PowerPoint which included photographs and the details on the curfews and the restrictions, and forwarded them to all patrol units and detective units throughout the city. Most of the Halloween curfews began at 2 p.m. and required of the sex offenders to stay in their residence from 2 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next morning. So starting at 2 p.m., our officers went to the addresses that the offenders were registered at, knocked on the door, and introduced themselves and said hello, and let them know that we knew they had a curfew and that we were just checking to make sure that they were abiding by it. Thanked them and went along our merry way. However, we did keep photos of them in the car so that if they did decide to wander out of their home, they would be spotted. So these people got personal visits from the police to let them know that, we're just checking up on them and everything was okay as long as they were complying. We found no violations, and at the end of Halloween, we also checked all of our police reports. We received no complaints regarding any tampering with candy or anything that would ruin Halloween for the children. I know in my neighborhood I had quite a lot of kids come, and they were all in costume, and everybody looked good, and it was very festive. So Halloween went well this week with no major documented incidents, and crime overall for this week was down 53%. With that being said, I consider the last week of October to be a banner week for the Mount Vernon Police Department and the men and women who are working hard to keep the citizens of Mount Vernon safe.